Alright, let's discuss guitar tablature and how to read this music for guitar. First off, we call it guitar tab or guitar tablature, and it'll always be notated by the words TAB on the left-hand side. This is sometimes called a staff. A staff in music is a collection of lines that we collect them together to create or where we can put our music, and that's called the staff. So this is called the guitar tablature staff. Tab is unique to guitar in the fact that it's the only instrument that uses this, and it's a very nice way to play because it just kind of uses numbers and then it uses pictures, kind of like a picture of the guitar. And what I mean by that is, if we take with my wonderful artistic skills here and we draw a guitar, there's our sound hole. We can even draw some frets. We can kind of draw the head of the guitar over here is where the head of the guitar would be here. So this is like the guitar is laying down on my lap, and those lines then are going to represent the strings of our guitar, just like we had, again, a guitar laying on our lap. So if we clean all this up, we focus in on here, we have the first string is labeled here on the top. And sometimes that looks like the opposite of when we're holding our guitar in playing position, and so we'll talk about that a little bit later. And our sixth string would be down here. Okay, now that we know that the tablature is like having the guitar on the piece of paper, let's go a little bit further into this. So, we know that that top line is the first string and the bottom line is the sixth string. So first string is here, sixth string is here. So if I was to place something, in this case, let's go ahead and use an X. It doesn't really matter for now, just X, Y, Z, A, B, C, I could put anything there. That would tell me that I need to play the first string of my guitar. If I was to do the X here, that's going to tell me that I'm playing the sixth string. And then just another example, if I put an X here, that would mean I would be asked to play the third string. So once again, we have our 6 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's very important to remember this is our first string or the skinny string, and this is the fat string or the sixth string. Now, we take numbers. If we just see these numbers, any of these numbers represent what fret to play. So if I just take these numbers kind of out of context of the music here for now, if I see the number 3, that's going to tell me to play the third finger in the third fret. If I see the number 2, that would tell me to play the second finger in the second fret. A 0 in tablature would mean that I would play no finger or no fret. So now when I combine the two together, so for example, if I take this number 3, that means I play the third finger and the third fret. And if I now move it down into here, depending on which line I put it on would tell me which string and which fret. So for example, let's move that 3 and put it on the first line here. So once it's put together now with the number and on a specific line, this means play the first string, and then I'm going to play the third fret. And I always match up the finger and the fret, so it'd also be third finger. Okay, let's use another example. If I were to put a 0 here, okay, this means that I play the first string again, and then I would play that as open. All right, let's try one that's not on the first string. Let's put a number here. Let's put a number 1 here. So this number 1 means that I play the first string, or first fret, on the second string, because that is, again, on the second line. The second line here means that I'm going to play on the second string. Let's try a couple of others. Let's put a 3 here. Can you tell me what that'd be? Feel like Dora here. That's the third fret of the third string. All right, now that we've got that under control, let's talk about rhythm. Because just the number by itself, that is first string, third fret, or first string open, second string, second fret, second string, third fret, but now we still, at this point, don't know how long or the rhythm of those notes. So the rhythm of our notes will be very similar to before. Let's move this out of the way for just a second. So up to now we know the whole notes, the half notes, and the quarter notes. So in guitar tablature, their equivalent is a number. If I want a whole note, in tablature, I take any number and I just circle it. And that kind of matches up with a whole note. If I want a half note, I take another number, doesn't matter which one, a 2. I circle it and I put a stem down. That is an equivalent of a 2 count. And finally, if I want a quarter note, I take any number, let's just do a 0, and a stem only. That's the same as a quarter note. So they look very similar for the most part up to the notes that we've learned up to this past. So to recap, let's do a couple examples. So let's take a look at, let's try this. So this is a number 2, so that's second string, second fret. And if I circle it and put a line, now it's for 2 counts. So I know all the information with just that, looking at that. It's the second string because it's on the second line. It's the second fret because of the number 2. And because it's circled in a stem, it's also 2 counts. So in this case, all 2s. Let's try another one. Let's put a 3 here. So this example is first string, third fret. And if I just draw the line here, then I get first string, third fret, and it's only a quarter note. So I could do a whole bunch of quarter notes in a row. It would look something like that.